Redmond police link home burglary suspects to an international crime ring. Yep, Redmond, Washington. Basically where I'm sitting right now. Let's get into it. Here we go.
You're watching what Redmond police describe as a residential burglary in progress. And what you don't see, Redmond Detective Sergeant Jesse Bollerud says is even more concerning.
The suspects in this case specifically are tied to a larger transnational organized crime ring.
Bollerud has tracked about a dozen residential burglaries in Redmond this year alone, all after homeowners' jewelry and cash.
So what they're looking is for easy targets. People that they believe would have large amounts of cash, large amounts of jewelry.
The homeowner got an alert from their security system that their back door was open. They checked their surveillance video and saw this. They called police. Redmond PD says they found the suspect's car abandoned a few miles away near this field. And in the tall grass, they found the couple's jewelry, luxury watches, gold, and gem pieces. That car eventually led to the arrest of these two men, now charged with residential burglary. And the victims, they got their jewelry back. Sergeant Bollerud believes the same organized crime ring is linked to cases of jewelry theft. But in those cases, jewelry, like a necklace, is ripped right off a victim's neck. That same kind of crime happened to this Bremerton man in April.
Come in, book me, kiss it.
No word if his case is linked to the same crime ring, but jewelry and related crimes so prevalent, Redmond PD has now formed a task force to work solely on such cases.
So between myself and some of the other jurisdictions that as we've gotten together, we do have several hundred instances that are kind of tied to this larger transnational organized crime group.
Now, the homeowners, they didn't want to be on camera, but they told me they think an alarm system on their back door really alerted them quickly, as well as police. They also learned that the suspects entered their home 5 minutes after they pulled out of their driveway, so they really believe that they were being watched. Police telling me important to pay attention to your surroundings. If you see something suspicious, report it. Keep those valuables in a safe. And also, cameras in a home can really be key. Reporting live in Redmond, I'm Michelle Esteban, Como News.
So we've talked a ton about, these international crime rings that come in, but oftentimes they're down in California. I mean, that is Los Angeles area, Hollywood Hills, Beverly Hills. That's where they seem to go. But now they're coming out to Redmond, Washington, Microsoft territory. And, the article basically stated why they're coming here. And it's because people got lots of cash and they got lots of jewelry. And let's be honest, they're probably not used to being robbed. Don't have a ton of criminal activity here in Redmond, Washington. In fact, just a couple of days ago, what are we today? We're Wednesday. Monday, Bellevue, Washington, where I'm sitting right now. Bellevue abuts up to Redmond, by the way. And I'm literally on Bell Red Road, which is hyphenated for Bellevue and Redmond. On Monday, Bellevue had its first murder of the year. It was a 77-year-old man in an assisted living facility with his 76-year-old wife. Something snapped, and he stabbed his wife to death. That was on Monday. Just horrific. I mean, it's got to be dementia, something along those lines. But that was our first murder of the year. And so there's just not a ton of crime here. Seattle, wildly different story. Across the water, across Lake Washington, wildly different story. So, you've got an international crime ring coming into Redmond, Washington because they can. Because, you've got this issue where, people are vulnerable, and these crime rings, they come in and they just do their thing. Suspects in this case specifically are tied to a larger transnational organized crime ring. A lot of agencies in the east side have been tracking for a while. So what you're looking for is easy targets. We heard him say this: people that they believe would have a large amount of cash, large amounts of jewelry, and someone they believe to be an easy victim. They're looking for targets, as they always do. But usually it's some local outfit, right? It's from some city that you're like, oh yeah, that figures that coming from there. But these guys, so recently charged two suspects arrested in the October incident, 21-year-old Lustinian Lamondita and 32-year-old Florin Vanduva with residential burglary. So it's known to law enforcement that these folks are, out there doing their thing. They're just out, Crime does pay, right? Lumendita was scheduled for a court hearing on Monday, but the case was continued. The defense requested the continuance. No word on why, but the case is now rescheduled for Thursday morning in King County Superior Court, so tomorrow morning. There's one of our fine individuals. Yep. And, if you're not familiar with the international crime ring concept, oftentimes they will come in from South American, Central American country, somewhere, along those lines, from Venezuela. I mean, hey, why not? And what they do is they come in on a visa, come in, do all of their criminal activity, rob people blind, and then book it out of the country. Just in and out, easy peasy, right? Easy peasy. So Redmond police arrested these two people. According to court documents, the homeowners reported a burglary in progress and told police that they saw two men inside their home through their home surveillance video system. Do you imagine that? I mean, all of a sudden you're watching your home screen. You're like, oh, good Lord. Honey, do we have guests at home? What do we got going on here? I mean, what are these guys doing on our house? Yeah, that'd be very uncomfortable, wouldn't it? So after they called the police, they headed in the direction of their home. At one point, the homeowners spotted the suspects fleeing in a black Kia. What do you want to bet it was stolen? Those Kia boys, right? And they followed them to their, according to court documents, the homeowners declined to be interviewed on camera. Not shocking. Yeah, we'd rather not be involved. Don't think so. Don't really necessarily want to be doing that. But, so they found the door had been pried open with the door and locking mechanism damaged. If you're enjoying this content, love to have you check out reasonabletv.com. What do we have on there? Well, let's take a little look. See, right? We've got a carjacking chaos story. Repeat offender hits again after probation. We've got all kinds of stories that we can't carry, on our main channels because there's something in them that kind of, ticks the algorithm and things just go tilt. So we've got that on our reasonabletv.com. That is a private channel. It's $3.99 a month. $39.99 a year. If you buy the annual subscription, get a 14-day free trial. Check it out. See if you like it. If not, no harm, no foul. Thanks in advance. So the homeowner said that security mechanism on every door in the house alerted was key. So he said it alerted them quickly and in turn police, which eventually led to the suspect's arrests. Short time after the couple called police, a witness near the 88th place in Avondale Road reported seeing three men flee from a black Kia. The caller told police that the three suspects fled on foot and one of them threw something into a marshland off the roadway and took off in that direction. Now, I think what you've got going on is they got spooked, right? And where they threw that was on the eastern side of Avondale, I believe, is where where the scene we saw in the video. And it's wetlands. And so they just dumped all their stuff. These people are so lucky they got their stuff back. According to court documents, investigators recovered the couple's jewelry, including 3 luxury men's watches, a woman's watch, a gold necklace, a sapphire bracelet, and other pieces valued at $8,000. So not a huge hit, but enough of a hit where it'd be annoying, where you're like, that's my stuff. Give it back. Couple confirmed that they got all their valuables back. That is just flat lucky right there. But believe they were targeted, telling Como News that their surveillance video revealed the suspects arrived 5 minutes after they pulled out of their driveway. So they're being watched. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, the criminals are like, are they gone yet? Minute they leave, all right, we're going in, because those guys went in. If you see that surveillance footage, you look and you go, okay, yeah, those guys, they're not messing around. They're going in, they're getting what they need, and then they're just booking it out, right? Article goes on to say, in a news release on November 27th, Redmond police said, through diligent investigations, interagency cooperation, witness reports and video footage, Redmond detectives identified the suspects as 21-year-old, yada, yada, and 32-year-old. Yeah, let's arrest them. Let's put them in jail, and we'll just see what happens. Maybe we'll do a little deportation later. Interesting that they didn't mention where these guys are from, like what nationality these guys were from, right? Yeah. Yeah. They will. They will. Sergeant Bollerud said that there have been about a dozen home burglaries in Redmond this year, what he described as an uptick. We've got concern. We've got a little bit of an uptick. Redmond has formed a task force with East Side jurisdictions to track jewelry thefts and other related cases, said Bollerud. He added that he believes that other jewelry thefts, including muggings, where jewelry such as necklaces are pulled off a victim's neck, are also linked to the same transnational organized crime ring. So, what I'm hearing is that what they do is they get elderly people that look like they have some money, that are well put together. And what they'll do is they'll get them over to the car. They'll kind of, like we saw that one, the elderly gentleman who was saying, he was just saying a bunch of stuff. And what they'll do is they'll get you close enough physically, grab your necklace off, grab your ring, grab your watch, whatever, and then just take off in the car. I mean, it's, and for these older folks that are just so trusting, it's one of those deals where they're kind of like, well, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't expect that to happen. And clearly they don't, but they're the victim of a crime. And then, by the time they kind of recognize and, wake up to the fact that, oh, I've been robbed, criminals are down the road, right? They're down the road, they're going to SeaTac, and then they're going to book it out to whatever country they came from. So it's international crime on a visa. So you can figure out who they are. Yeah, you can maybe stop them from coming into the country. So will these folks be deported when Trump does his deportations? Yeah, you're going to have some of that, but you know what? This is criminal activity that's always going on. This is nothing new. I think folks are just becoming more aware because they're like, hey, we know a whole bunch of illegal aliens are in the country, and we know that this, visa crime spree is going on. They come in on a visa and they do their thing, and then they just out. I mean, folks are aware that that is going on. But I think here locally in the Pacific Northwest, we just haven't had that many cases of this kind of thing because it's oftentimes, like I said earlier, it's happening down in California. Crime is everywhere. Crime pays. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for joining. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.